Hello, this is Adam Watson, and I am here to talk about Make a Prompt, which is a really interesting formative assessment tool. I played around with it with different devices, everything from smartphones to iPads to desktop computers and laptops, and it works pretty well in all those different environments, Mac or Windows. That said, again, it's a formative assessment tool. And in order to talk about that, as far as give credit where credit's due, I just want to point out that when I was kind of poking around the internet trying to get some different ideas for different tools, I came across this Edutopia post of 56 examples of formative assessment done by David Wees. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, David. Anyway, he had a Google Slides presentation of 56 different examples of formative assessment. And one of those formative assessments that really was intriguing to me was this one on a website called ActivePrompt. Now, the actual website itself that you want to go to in order to create the formative assessment and then have students engage in it is this one right here, activeprompt.herokuapp.com, or at least that's how I'm going to pronounce it. The key thing of this is that you need to have an image prepared beforehand that you want students to interact with. Now, it could be any photograph. In this particular example that I'm going to talk about this particular one right here. I made this with the Sketch app, so a quick plug-in for that. It's kind of a catch-all, as you can see. This one particular image could be used over and over again for everything from Likert scales to strongly agree to strongly disagree, asking true-false questions, asking multiple choice questions, even maybe how do you feel you did, or on a reflective tool of where you are on this particular standard, anything from emerging all the way up to Mastery Plus, the point where I could teach others. Once I was in Sketch and I created this image, I am now going to go actually to the website itself. So with that, let us go to the site. So again, it's activeprompt.herokuapp.com. When you go into this website and this resets itself, the addresses that are going to be at the bottom would change every time you go into the website itself. It has a four-step process here. The first step is you want to upload an image. And the image that you just saw in Sketch is the one that I've gone ahead and loaded by choosing that file. Next, it wants you to write a prompt. In the beginning here, the drag the red dot to is kind of the default. So typing here, for example, do you believe technology helps the classroom? Change that around here. There you go. So now we have a prompt. Drag the red dot to show if you agree that technology helps the classroom. The next step is that there's a link that's given to the students, and there's one that's kind of like you could call the teacher website, or the teacher side of things as far as how students are interacting with the site. This is the one you want to give to the students, and one thing is that it's a little bit awkward, it's a little bit long. I could see a couple of places there where students are going to misspell where to go. You might want to think about using something like todaysmeet.com, where you have a chat room and you tell the students, go to this chat room. I'm just going to drag or copy and paste this link in there so everyone can just click and be at the right place. Maybe you tweet out the link. So again, if students go to the Twitter page, they can just be one click away from getting to the site. Bottom line is, or do like a URL shortener perhaps, that would make it a little bit simpler. Bottom line is that if I click this particular link, okay, you're going to see the product here. This is the image I have, and drag the red dot to show if you agree that technology helps the classroom. The red dot that we're talking about is right here, and that's where things get kind of interesting, because whether it's with a iPad, my finger, or in this case with the MacBook Air and my mouse, I can drag that red dot to wherever I want in this particular image. So if I take it and I drag it As a student, I want to show how much do I agree. I'll put myself right there in the spectrum. And from my point of view, that's all I see. One red dot that I have moved, that I can move back and forth as many times as I like. Now, copy that for just a second. To do a little trick here as far as using my Evernote. Okay, and back to where we are. Now, the trick is that, again, as a student, I have moved that red dot, I have moved it there. But the teacher, okay, or the display site, if you will, is here. Now, at first you might think, was that a trick? Now here, again, is the student site, but here again is the final product, and if you're not sure, see, I can't move, okay, with these dots, that is not movable by me. See, it will spring back. So these are the dots of, in theory, all the different students in class. And with that in mind, now you can kind of see this in real time as students might interact with it. So, again, a little trick of Evernote to kind of create a place where different devices at once are going to be able to interact. Okay, so we are seeing the teacher side of things. Now, let us see what it looks like if I have different devices and therefore different dots all going in at the same time. Okay, I'm thinking of my Evernotes and my other devices here. There we go. Okay, now I got two more devices online. Let's see what happens here. As I go here, grab my dot on one device, I'm moving around. Okay, I also am grabbing it here, and you can see in real time the different dots I'm moving. Let's say that they feel like they're there. And then, of course, if I change the question or change the formative assessment that I want to ask the class, then they can move their dots again. So they can keep that tab open and do that throughout the course of a period, really. The last thing that I want to show you that's really great, excuse me, about this particular website is that from this display screen, if you will, or again, I want to keep calling it the teacher side of things, I can go here, and with a click, I can clear all those old markers. I can even edit the prompt and change that to something else, perhaps as I keep using it throughout the period. Or I can even, with this, go and open up a tab and go to see the student view in order to move the red dot, if you will. But the clear all markers is really helpful as far as, okay guys, wherever the red dots are, maybe there's some lingering ones from different people, they've closed and opened the tabs and so on. I can just clear out the site, make them all go away, and with that, okay, the idea of it is that I can start a blank slate and start it again. So if these students that on these particular devices, if they close their tabs and I closed and did the clear old markers, then I can start over. That is this Make a Prompt website. It is a great website, a free tool. It's something interesting to use for formative assessments and formative tools in the classroom. Thank you so much for listening, and goodbye.